What's up everybody, I'm Sean and I am hands down the best web developer in this video. I know I say that every time and it's a stupid joke. Anyway, today's video is on CSS. This is the 5th video in a series on how to build a website with your own custom code, not using WordPress or another content management system. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. This series is for serious coders, not WordPress warriors, not drag and droppers. If you're a total beginner and you don't know anything about coding or web development yet, that's fine, but you just need to know that you actually want to build websites with your own custom code, not using a site builder. And if you missed the first 4 videos in this series, check out the channel, they're all available there. So in this video, we're talking about CSS, cascading style sheets. CSS is the language used to give style to the elements of your web page. HTML is the language that contains the elements of that web page, and CSS gives style to those elements. Once again, check out the previous video on HTML if you missed it. So why can CSS be your best friend or your worst enemy? I say that CSS can be your best friend or your worst enemy because on the one hand, having good quality CSS can really put you over the top and make you stand out from other web developers. But on the other hand, there's a lot more that you need to know with CSS in my opinion than with HTML. I think as a general rule, you should probably spend about 3 times or maybe even more than that as much time studying CSS as you do with HTML. And if you, my friend, want to get started on your CSS journey right now, click the link below to the CSS specialization. And please, feel free to show some love on your way down there and drop one of these. So how do you link CSS to your HTML the way you can add style to the elements of your web page? Well, there's 3 ways to do it. You can use inline CSS, internal CSS, or external CSS. Inline CSS is when you put your CSS directly inside of an HTML element in your code. Internal CSS is when you put your CSS within the same HTML document but separate from the individual HTML elements, and you do that using the HTML style tags. External CSS is when you write all of your CSS in a separate sheet and then you put a link to it within your HTML document. Now, most tutorials and web development instructors are going to recommend that you use external CSS in general, but that's another topic for another day, and the bottom line is that all 3 ways work. Now, I should mention that there are a number of different CSS libraries and frameworks that are very popular. 2 of the more popular ones are Bootstrap and Sass, for example. And while it can be useful to learn these, I recommend that you focus first on your CSS fundamentals. Focus on really mastering your CSS fundamentals first, because ultimately you can build a beautifully designed website without having to know any of those other frameworks or libraries. Now, if you happen to already know your CSS fundamentals really well, or if you have a specific reason that you want to learn either one of those libraries, frameworks that I mentioned, there are links below to a Bootstrap course and to a Sass course. There's also a link below to a full web design specialization. It's got HTML, CSS, JavaScript, responsive design, and I know I'm just bombarding you guys with links. I'm overwhelming you guys with links, but there's also, of course, the link below to tomorrows-campus.com, and there you're gonna find a database with over 1,000 web development courses on all subjects. Not even just the things we're talking about building a website, we're talking about mobile app development, AI, machine learning, game development, all sorts of stuff. So you can find a course that's gonna fit your budget and your time frame. Tomorrows-campus.com, check it out on the link below. All right, I'm done bombarding you guys with links. Now, back to CSS. Once again, the reason I say it can be your worst enemy is because there's really quite a bit to know before you can successfully build a well-designed and good-looking, stylish website. Some people start trying to build websites after learning just a few of the basics of CSS, and then they just dive right into it. And then shortly after you start, you realize that you don't actually know how to style or design elements that well, and you end up trying to do so by writing a whole bunch of sloppy code that doesn't really look good or work well, and you end up with a crappy looking web page with a whole bunch of sloppy code anyway, when you really should have just focused on learning and mastering your CSS fundamentals before diving right in. I can personally tell you guys that I neglected CSS at the beginning. I learned the basics. Like I said, I learned the bare bones basics and went out there and tried to build websites, and it didn't work for me at all. And only then, after I went back and studied CSS more thoroughly, was I able to build good looking, stylish web pages with minimal code. And that, my friend, is what I want you to be able to do as well. So click that link below to the CSS specialization. You're gonna learn a ton. You're gonna thoroughly learn your CSS. That way you as well can build stylish, good-looking web pages with minimal code. And that's it for this video, folks. Next week's video is gonna be on, drum roll please, JavaScript. Dun dun dun, big scary JavaScript. But don't worry, don't be scared. I'm gonna tell you what you need to know. I got your hookup, all right? Drop the thumbs up if you like the video. Leave a comment down below. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Check out tomorrows-campus.com. Find your web development course right now. And hey, pretty soon you'll be out there saving the world with the amazing, well-designed, stylish code that you write.